pray, do you get a response?
Oh, it's like he's physically in me. It's how he guides me.
My little saviour.
Hello, Rose. It's lovely to see you today. How are you?
Very good, thanks. How are you
Good
doing?
stuff. I'm grand, thanks. I'm coping. Whereabouts in the world do we find you today?
In Hackney, in London, in my office.
Okay, well we're not
Raining
too far.
outside. Yes,
It's lovely and sunny here in Ireland today. Like so we'll push that over towards you. I know. Sorry about that.
Soak it up.
Congratulations, first of all, on St. Maud. I'm still reeling. Saw it a couple of days ago, so I'm still having a kind of my own little nervous outbreaks anyway. So thanks for those.
Glad to hear it.
I was just wondering, first of all, have you ever Googled your own name?
Yeah, because I'd be a liar if I said I didn't. But I'm quite glad. I discovered quite early on I've got two nouns for a name, so it's mostly kind of glasses and roses that come up.
This is it. It's noun related stuff because like ahead
which
of the
I'm really
interview,
pleased about, which is good.
because I was obviously going to do a bit of research ahead of talking to you, and then every time I go to
nothing.
There's nothing there. You're a blank slate on the internet. But it was lots of rosé glasses, and then also lots of Beauty and the Beast related stuff as well.
Oh yeah,
from the rose glass as well.
I haven't done a deep dive. I sort of like saw good. There's nothing. Okay, great, and then kind of like
I've gone back to my life. But I think St. Maud is going to change all that. So I don't know that's a good thing or a bad thing for you.
Well, I mean, hopefully the film. I'm very happy for the film to get lots of Google hits. I'll stay in the background.
Yeah. No, you've been talking about the film for such a long time. It seems now. I think it premiered over or around a year ago.
September, just over a year ago, I think now.
Yeah. So how are you feeling now about the film? You know, do you still feel fresh when you?
Good. Yeah. I mean, surprisingly, like now it's sort of all kind of kicking off again. It's kind of like, oh shit, yeah. I keep forgetting that. To me, it sort of felt like it all happened already, because the whole thing of like finishing the film and doing festivals and all this kind of thing and doing a bit of press back then, that sort of already feels like the big crazy thing that's happened. I keep sort of forgetting that like the main bit hasn't actually happened yet. But I think like I walked past a cinema near me here in Hackney, and like there was just St. Maud stuff all over the front, and that was a bit of a reality check. So that was it's all very deeply weird. And exciting.
Deeply weird and exciting. Yeah, that's life basically. So whenever you have been talking about it such a long time now, have you perfected what's your description of the film? Because I was saying,
you think I would have done, don't you?
I would have. That's why I asked the question.
I absolutely haven't. I've kind of I can spiel off kind of the premise, and then I'm always just a bit like she wants to save Amanda's soul before she dies, and she tries to do that and it goes wrong, and that's kind of all of so no, I'm still quite bad at all of this.
Well, no, that sounds like a good description to me. But even in terms of tone, because obviously I find it's creepy, it's scary, but it's funny in places as well.
I know, I keep sounding like I'm just trying to be like, it's got it all. It's about this, but it's still fun and scary and all the I think, I don't know, what I come to now is basically, I don't know where all of this stuff comes from. I think when you're writing stuff, it's such like a gradual, drawn out process. You're just kind of like, it's only afterwards you can analyze anything. But yeah, I think the kind of films that I've always enjoyed watching tend to have been sort of a bit like someone like grabbing you and shaking you a bit and tapping into sort of like the weirder, more messed up sides of life. So I guess I've just tried to sort of make a film that I thought I'd like to watch. And I've got a short attention span and I like messed up stuff. So I guess the film's a bit like, and then... But hopefully within that really like sort of like profound and like about things.
I definitely got the mixture of the profound and the sub 90 minutes and the scares. And the profound and the profane. Yeah. Because normally I'm rubbish at horror. I love the torture, but I also love the curtain.
You love the torture?
Like of watching it.
Oh right, good.
Watching it. But then, not personally, but also the sun shining and the curtains open and watching it in the middle of the day as well.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Like, do you love, and I know it's going to be different this time around with the release, but is there a certain sense of like, are you happy whenever you've scared people and creeped people out in that way?
Yeah, definitely. I'm very pleasantly surprised whenever, I mean, because to be honest, the jump scares, it's not like a jump heavy film, but I like to think we sort of make the most of them. But I'd always done, most of my shorts tended to have been a bit sort of creepy and odd, but they weren't sort of horror. And I think some of the more sort of like classic horror beats in the film were the things I was most nervous about pulling off, because so much of it just comes down to like sort of timing it. It's quite sort of technical. And so like seeing a jump scare like really work in an audience for the first time, you're kind of, it's very, very cool feeling. You're like, yes, I'm God. All directors just have God complexes, really. So just being a bit honest about it.
Rightly so. You are the honest one. Yeah, because there was a particular moment I thought, I was like, I'm coping. I'm fine. Everything is going fine for me here. And then, as you said, there was a particular moment between Jennifer and Morfydd. I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly, because
it's like a th on the end. It's a bit more like Morfydd, but
Morfydd. But yeah, there was a particular moment which you well know towards the end that completely. I think that's the reason I'm still reading. So that was perfected anyway. So congratulations.
I'm very glad to hear it. I think Morfydd. I don't know if you spoke. I don't know if you spoke to her as well, but she's quite, because when in person she's just very kind of like sweet and like in a great way. And she was saying, I didn't realize I could be scary. Full-grown men being frightened of me, exciting. And I was like,
terrified, like from the first frame, basically.
I think both of us are just like, great, lovely.
I'm wondering, obviously I raised Irish Catholic, and we're obviously dealing with a lot of shame issues over here, and the religious part of the film. And like, I'm not religious personally now in any way. I've moved away from all that, but I'm wondering, do you love that ambiguity of, is she mad, is she a martyr, and kind of playing with the audience?
Definitely. I mean, it's I always wanted the film to kind of work on two levels, and in a way, depending on how you're inclined faith-wise or whatever, I guess you can interpret it different ways, although I think by the end it's fairly clear which side I come down on. But yes, I mean, I think one of the things that sort of interested me a bit, and it's deliberately done kind of provocatively, is sort of the kind of, I guess, the sort of Venn diagram crossover between sort of faith and delusion or psychosis, I guess, which obviously is separate things, but I find the connection between the two interesting. And I guess I sort of want, I was thinking about Joan of Arc quite a bit when I was writing it. I'm sort of doing a bit of research into her, and I found it interesting that apparently some psychologists now believe that she might have suffered from this particular kind of epilepsy, in which case, and in that instance, seizures are sort of accompanied by these really intense hallucinations and sort of feelings of kind of ecstasy. And in hindsight, it's like maybe the reason this young woman was able to kind of have the conviction to lead armies and whatever, maybe it wasn't because God was talking to her, maybe it's because she had this weird specific kind of epilepsy, depending on how you look at it, I guess, and what era it's happening in. But the experience that's going on in the person's head is still the same. It's just sort of how you interpret it. So I always wanted Maud's journey in a way to sort of put the audience in the shoes of somebody who really, as far as they're concerned, is absolutely unambiguously going through some kind of sacred relationship with God and on a mission. And then I guess, the sort of, and then obviously it taps into kind of the dangers of what happens when people sort of get to a level of alienation when where their inner reality is so far removed from people around them. It's dangerous when people feel adrift, I guess, and turn to other things. Yes.
Definitely. No, definitely. I'm wondering, obviously you've had a lot of time to process your own film and then maybe have a think about what's next. I'm wondering, have you anything exciting planned for after St. Maud?
Going next, I don't know, I'm writing at the moment. I'm sort of got a few things sort of in very early, vague stages of development. One's kind of a bit further along, which I'm co-writing with a friend who's usually on the desk behind me. And that hopefully we might shoot next year in America, if the world hasn't ended. I'm not sure. And I can't say much about it, but I think it'll be fun.
Okay, no problem. It was nice of your friend to depart the premises for the day anyway.
No, just before I did all these interviews, I was kind of like, oh no, but it's like her stuff in the background. I was like, anyway, she's much tidier than I am, but.
Well, it's looking lovely there. Well, listen, Rose, I look forward to Googling you in the future and finding out what those next top secret projects are anyway. But congratulations again on St. Maud, and thanks for taking the time to talk to us today.
Really nice to talk to you. Thanks very much.
Okay, cheers. Thank you, Rose.
This is life and death on another level. What if I'm getting it all wrong?
All the good girls go to